Okay, so we have a new film that's just come out called Queen Tut. It is from director Reem Morsi and written by Abdul Malik, Bryan Mark, and Kaveh Mohebbi. The film is produced by Lindsay Blair Guldner, Shant Joshi, uh, executive produced by Ingrid Veniger, Ashalus Pulus, Sonia De Rienzo, and Alexandra Billings. It's associate produced by Zahar Khan, Bryan Mark, Kaveh Mohebbi, and Reem Morsi. Co-produced by Lauren Sarimaki and Abdul Malik. Sad Bushnak was down with the music. Isa Shah, cinematography. Bentley Allen edits the piece, while John Buchan and Jason Knight took care of the casting. Production design, we have Ashley Friedrich and David Wooten. Set decoration is Brooke Robertson. Leland Michaels was taking care of hair and makeup. We have Aaron Benstall, Adeline Torres Billy, AJ Lauren, Justine Rimbert, Maria Siddiqui, Rory Formbaum, and Spencer Wilson. So our cast. Okay, so we have got Nabil, played by Ryan Ali. His dad, Iskandar, is played by Dani Jazzar. A younger version of Nabibi is played by Crew Levy. His mother, Salma, is played by Amani Ibrahim. We've got Malibu, played by Alexandra Billings. Shy Nice, played by Fom Allison. Ryan, aka Taz DeVille, played by Kirina Stanton. There is Mark Morcus, played by Mustafa Shakar. Habatees, played by Nikki Nasrallah. Decaf, played by Darius Zadi. Father Krylos, played by Al Miani. Lee, played by Malaka. Gloria, played by Kendall Savage. I think that's the main lot of people, essentially. Councillor Cash, played by Darren Baker. Councillor Davis, played by Stuart Hughes. Yeah, I think that's our main kind of cast, really. Film is this: upon the loss of his mother, a young Egyptian immigrant leaves his home of Cairo to live with his father in Toronto. Parachuted into the underground queer nightlife in Toronto, he confronts his mother's death, much to his father's disapproval, by taking up the ways of drag and becoming Queen Tut. So yeah, that's the film. Like, it's an interesting one, really. Is it is into this, a guy like coming to terms with loss and finding who he really is, right? That's the film, finding that community. And that's always an interesting thing, right? So many different films kind of look at this and do it in so many different ways. You know what I mean? So yeah, right. Queen Tut. What were they gonna say? What are they gonna do? Right. I think with this one, you also have the added uh religious angle, right? Where that makes it real kind of because there's all those other things with the religion, like his mum getting divorced, she gets kicked out of the church, right? So you have all of just that stuff, right? Those kind of repressive behaviors and traits, and then the gay, the drag, all of this now bringing into it, so it just puts a different lens on things. It's I think trying to keep his mum alive with her um sewing, create her oh dressmaking, her dress designs. I'm trying to think of what do you call it? Yeah, that's an interesting one. Though, right, when he goes, he's just like, oh, he doesn't know how to sew. So I'm just a bit like, he ain't making them dresses. You know what I mean? You're not learning how to do all of them stitches. And it's not just learning how to do the stitch. Someone can show you, right? This is a stitch, but it's perfecting, right? So it doesn't look like there's a stitch there, right? It doesn't look like, this was knocked up in a second by a 5-year-old, right? There's a skill, there's an art, and we don't really see that aspect of it, right? We have him talking about it and going, oh, I want to make these dresses, teach me how to make these dresses, but we don't really see him learning, which I think would have helped, would have added a different nuance to the film, you know. um I think there's also why, right? Why does he want to be a drag queen? I think that's something that's not really explored, you know. It's like we get a lot of the things that often find, right? Malibu talking about the AIDS and epidemic and all of that. I still, whenever that comes up, no one ever talks about condoms. You know what I mean? Like, why did no one use condoms? Right? That's just never brought up. It's always baffles me. But yeah, those things are brought up. But yeah, why? Why do you want to be a drag queen? Right? What is it about that is talking to you? Right? That's an interesting thing, but we don't really have it. Right? It's kind of fighting against what his dad's doing, which is all well and good, but then, yo, why don't you move out? Right? Go live somewhere else. You know what I mean? There's just a few things that I feel could have been explored, because we do see that, like, his dad does seem to accept him, right? It's just like he doesn't really want to talk about it, which is, it is what it is. But I think those things are topics that could have been explored a bit more. You know what I mean? Like, they're interesting, I think. Some of the other stuff, like Malibu stealing the road thing, is kind of like, why? Right? And it looks like it's heavy. So I'm not convinced they're outrunning the worker. You know what I mean? That was a random weird one. There's no talk of relocating Mandy's, right? There's just a few things that I just thought, I mean, it would have been interesting to look at, to cover, or how come these conversations aren't being had, you know? So I think it's an interesting film. I think it's I think it's probably a conversation starter on a few things. But yeah, there's just other things where you're just like, I feel you missed an opportunity, right? Because you're kind of skating around the edges on this. So yeah, like why don't we go full bore, as it were? But yeah, I don't know. It's out, right? It's out on VODs, right? I know it's on Amazon. And it's coming to Apple, right? So yeah, I think if you enjoyed Mysterious Ways, right, which I think had more conversations about certain topics, right? If you enjoyed that, um, oh, what was that? God, there was this South African film that we covered a little while back, which for the life of me has escaped. Um, oh my days! It was called Runs in the Family. Yes, right, that one. Yeah, Ian Gabriel and Ace Batty, right? Their film. I think if you like those films, I believe that Queen Tut will resonate with you, right? You'll be able to enjoy it. If you enjoy, those personal stories, right, where people it's kind of self-discovery, then Queen Tut could very well talk to you as well, right? So yeah, as mentioned, it's out on VODs. Came out on the 6th of July. I got it a little late, but it is all good. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting, right? We do we do get nice moments with Nabil, right? Where you can see he's trying to process things, and I think they capture that very well. You know, I think that's and they're not trying to force things like him into relationships and all of that. So that's all good. Um, the singing, the singing is bad. The singing is not good. Everyone in that club is tone deaf, right? But yeah, Queen Tut, people, Queen Tut.